Finland has announced that it is sending Ukraine its 11th military aid package. Weapons worth €30 million will be sent, bringing Finland's total military aid contribution to €190 million. The U.S. industry is currently capable of producing about 14,155mm rounds per month, The Washington Post reports, citing the Army commander. Ukrainian troops spend that amount of ammunition in just 2 days, the publication notes, citing an unnamed military source. Patriot air defense systems, which the U.S. announced this week it would supply to Ukraine, pose a problem only in the newest modifications, but even in this case the problem is solvable, the DNR People's Militia said. The first two Patriot modifications, PAC-1 and PAC-2, proved to be extremely ineffective systems back in Iraq, even against old types of the operational tactical missile systems. No one has ever seen the most advanced complex PAC-3 in combat yet, but it is equipped with an/MPQ-65 radar, which can detect low altitude and small targets at ranges of 70 kilometers. The Ukrainian focal air defense needs such means critically, explained the interlocutor of the agency. According to him, the supply of these systems is a forced measure for the U.S. supporting Ukraine, as the Ukrainian air defense systems were mostly destroyed by Russian forces. It will be a very long time before the Ukrainian Armed Forces will be able to use the American Patriot air defense systems that were promised to them. In addition, they are incapable, as some think, of protecting all of Ukraine. This was stated by retired U.S. General Mark Hertling to Newsweek. According to him, it will take months to train the Ukrainian military to operate the launchers. He added that these SAMs are not suitable for moving across the battlefield. They are put in such a way as to cover a single most important object, such as Kiev. Those who think that these systems will be distributed along the 800-kilometer Russian-Ukrainian border simply do not understand how these systems work. Earlier, Vladimir Putin warned that the Russian armed forces would quickly snap all Patriot SAMs as soon as they arrive in Ukraine. Russian Foreign Ministry denies possibility of Belarusian Russian grouping in Ukraine. What really lies behind diplomats' words? The Russian Foreign Ministry said this morning that it was incorrect to talk about the use of a joint Russian-Belarusian grouping in Ukraine. However, everything is not so unambiguous with the words of the diplomats. First of all, it is worth recalling what the success of the first approach from the territory of Belarus was due to. Its main component was the suddenness and unexpectedness of such a move for Kiev, whose troops were for the most part paralyzed for several hours, if not days. Second, the Russian authorities constantly talk about the importance of Western supplies, including those coming via the railroad, which is only a few dozen kilometers from the Belarusian border in the Volyn region. Finally, thirdly, Lukashenko will visit Russia today for the formal purpose of visiting the Center for Training Cosmonauts. Although in fact the Belarusian leader will visit Russia for the second time in just a few days to talk to Putin. At the same time in Belarus itself there are staff changes in the army. Yesterday Oleg Mishchenko was dismissed from the post of the head of communications of the armed forces. Recall that it was good communication that showed its critical importance in the course of the SSR. Regardless of any result of the negotiations in high offices, the fate of Belarus has already been decided. It will in any case enter into a military conflict. The only question is the terms of this entry, which now, in all likelihood, are the subject of bargaining.